we talk often about Jeff Traylor, the GOAT, the Godfather. He was the one that built Gilmer into the power it is today, right? But I look at your resume and I think in just 4 seasons since you took the reins, you of course were a long-time assistant under Traylor, then you became OC under Matt Turner's 5-year stint.
Right.
Then you take the reins, and in 4 seasons, you take him to 3 state championship games and a title. You did it so efficiently. That's impressive.
I appreciate it.
Do you recognize like the work you've done so quickly, and who do you credit for that? What do you credit?
Well, I think it's a compilation of everything. You know, I get to stand on the shoulders of Jeff Traylor and Matt Turner. You know, that a lot, of course I was there in the early years with Jeff, and there was a whole lot that had to be done to push that pendulum over. You know, so there was a lot of non-glory things that we were having to do back in 01 and 2 and 3 and grinding and you know, losing in the first round of the playoffs a couple of years in a row, those kind of things. And so I think having those years gives me a great perspective on getting to appreciate the success that we're having.
I think a lot of your authenticity stems from something you do, something you are passionate about away from the football field. And that's serving as a pastor,
right?
A preacher. I don't know which title you prefer.
Either, it doesn't matter.
But I think that is super fascinating because I know there are a lot of God-fearing men in Texas high school football, but not many that serve in a role that ignites a congregation. I feel that has to translate to football somehow. If you can ignite a congregation, I feel it's pretty seamless to be able to ignite a football team. How have those two maybe overlapped and helped one another?
Well, I think they're very complementary. You know, they're both about serving people. They're both about building people up, helping them to be all that God's created them to be, whether it's in their workplace, their family unit, etc. Quite frankly, coaching, you're just starting at an earlier segment of their life, you know, and hoping to help them to get to the place they are when they're in your congregation, you know. So to me, when people go, well, how do those two fit? Well, how do they not fit? You know, it's a seamless transition. So I'm blessed to have this opportunity. It's not something that I just decided, oh, I'm going to go do this. It's something I feel like God put on my heart to do. And I think that's pretty critical. Otherwise, you end up burning the candle at both ends and you know, you can't get it done.
I am curious to know how, you mentioned it's that call. When did it begin? How did it begin?
Well, my dad was a pastor, and I would help, you know, like every now and then I would speak or preach, you know, that kind of thing. I'd speak at FCA events or baccalaureates or whatever. So I felt very comfortable in that role. But I'd always be like, Dad, you can take care of all that other stuff. I'm good. You know, all the weight and the pressure and all that. I could come in and share and move on and that kind of thing. There was a period of time where he got sick and ended up needing to go see some specialists in Florida, and so he was out for several weeks. And during that time period, as I was filling in and having to cover some of the other roles, you know, I felt like maybe God was letting me know, okay, that's in the future. And the only thing that kept me from freaking out was, yeah, maybe in the distant future, you know, down the road. But that within about a year and a half or so, he got sick on a Sunday and died on a Friday. It escalated. And so all that process got expedited. And that was in 2007. And so for the past 17 years, my wife and I, that's the role we stepped into. Felt like God said do that, and so here we go. Do your players come to any of your services? Some do. We're about 18 miles outside of Gilmer, where the church is, and a lot of ours aren't able to travel out there. I've got some coaches that come out there, but you know, at the same time they get a lot of me. You know, you know, I don't want to overdo that, and so that's not something in any way that I'm going to pressure them on, and so they get me. You know. At least 6 days a week for a lot of the year, so it's all good. I think you're discrediting the fact that you're a very important voice in their life. I will say that. I appreciate it. What's the message to them moving forward following the state championship? There's a saying that
you know, when you reach the top of one mountain, you're at the bottom of the next.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, and one of the things when you bring up the mountain, we always draw a mountain when we start a season, and we've got our preseason games, and that's phase 1, and then we got our district games, and that's phase 2, and then you get your postseason phase 3. But on that mountain, the state championship's not at the top. That's about a little over half of that mountain. And at the top it says, become the man you were created to be. So in that journey, we're working. These are opportunities we get, adversity and challenges, but someday they're gonna graduate, they're gonna hopefully go to school or get a job, get married, have kids. All those things they're still working up. So that's a continual thing, and this is just a small piece of something that's much bigger. And so to me, every year, it's easy to transition into, okay, now we're at this new phase. This year we're in the 24-year phase of 2024 of what you're becoming. And I think that's worth getting excited for, and I think it's worth working for, when you ask for so much from them.
That's what we love about you. You build tremendous football players, yes, but even better young men. Thank you for that, and for all you do for Texas high school football. We're looking forward to that next climb.
Thank you. I'm excited about it too.